Jesus loves us and wants to save us. We need to love. The Sabbath is a very important day for Israel. It is the day of the Old Covenant, the day of rest, the day of the Lord. Every Jew, therefore, must live this day towards his family and toward God. Such importance allowed, little by little, an enslavement of the Jews to the Sabbath, a form of blind and inhuman dependence. The seventh day of the week has become a very heavy burden because of so many superficial laws built into it. MC narrates his fact, placing Jesus above the temple in importance and evidencing mercy beyond sacrifice. MC in turn adds the superiority of man over the Sabbath. Luke's text is the shortest to be there. Jesus relativizes the Sabbath. The Pharisaic reaction to the disciples' attitude in picking up the ears of wheat reveals a very great fragility in the understanding of the day of the Lord. When making a comparison to what David did, he then came to a persecution provoked by Saul. When he ate the holy bread, due only to the priest, the teaching is evident that in face of extreme need, the law is suspended. In this case, the prescriptors of the Sabbath, life is more important than any law, because the law exists in favor of life, which is a gift from God. In turn, the disciples proceeding as they did, give the impression that they were at ease with Jesus. They had a form of security capable of allowing them to dare on the Sabbath day. They were beginning to see a tremendous change in the way of understanding the law of God, putting them in the condition of free men. The Sabbath must be the day when man lives his condition of image and likeness with God, through the exercise of his autonomy turned toward the Lord. It is also the day to commemorate the liberation of God's people. This original meaning to be established by Jesus, who reveals himself as the Lord of the Sabbath. The key to understanding the law of God is Jesus Christ, the only word of the Father, the whole teaching of the Father to humanity. He is the transforming word, the saving message, the liberating newness, perceived more clearly after his death and resurrection. Resurrection Sunday, the day of the new and eternal covenant. It is the fulfillment of the Old Testament Sabbath. It is the day of glorification of Jesus, of the new creation, of the new covenant, of victory over death, sin, and Satan. It is the day of the church's faith, the new people of God. The Old Testament Sabbath fulfilled its mission as a preparatory promise for Sunday, the Lord's Day. Sunday is the day for the true appreciation of the human dignity, its autonomy and liberation, the day of the Christian family and its communion with God, the day of charity, solidarity par excellence, the whole day for God and for the good of humanity. I hope the rest due to the Lord's Day is truly lived with intense joy, enchantment, and availability on the Sunday of the Risen One, the Son of Man, the Lord of the Sabbath, the risen victor, or law par excellence. The day of the Lord is manifested in mercy. All sacrifices to God are useless if you don't have a heart for those who suffer all kinds of misfortune, such as, for example, abandonment, disillusionment, depression, hunger and thirst, injustice, exploitation, slavery, ignorance of the truth, diseases, among other things. Jesus himself listed the things that makes his disciples blessed: feeding the hungry, drinking the thirsty, clothing the naked, welcoming the stranger, visiting those in hospitals and prisons. Whoever claims to have faith but do not care about the good of the other lies and still becomes cursed, somewhat useless, condemned to eternal death. What meaning does the day of the Lord have for those who only care about themselves? Is there any value in not knowing one of the day of the Jesus? Resurrection, and at the same time neglecting one's own salvation and charity. On the other hand, it is worth going to divine worship, participating in holy mass, and not letting to go to your affairs, your ambitions, on the Lord's Day.